Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So for this one, as usual, let's just go over what happened in the market today and what we can expect going into tomorrow being the final day of the week and what we can expect going into the beginning of the new month, which of course starts tomorrow being April. So all that being said and done, if you guys enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. It does help a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, that really does mean quite a bit, but let's just get right into it. So Tesla, finally getting a little bit of a breather. The first real red day, pretty much ever since the run-up. It's been quite a while since it's had an actual red day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 days without a true red day. Like, I don't even consider this a true red day. Like, sure, it ended lower than it closed, but it was hardly a red day. Let's be honest here. It still ended up very nicely up. Like, you know, pretty high up regardless. It was not an actual red day, in my opinion. But with that being said, today, now this is a red day, right? This is where things are starting to slowly break apart. And the way and it's not that hard to figure out why. I mean, think about it, right? We consolidated here. I still believe this consolidation would have actually led us down to this area. And I think the main reason it didn't was because they announced the split, slash, dilution. I mean, it's a dilution of shares, but if the result of the dilution is a split, then it's not obviously bad, because normally a dilution of shares is bad because it makes each share worth less. But if that's leading into a split, then that's not obviously that bad. But with that being said, I do believe this was actually going to resolve it to the downside, but it didn't because of that announcement, hence why we went up. And you can see we kind of formed like a backwards cup and handle almost. Well, the handle's not here yet. I do believe that we're going to fall down to at least like this area, probably form a very small handle and then fall. Because right now it's kind of like, I don't know how to say this exactly, but it's kind of like curving around, if that makes sense, right? You can see the curve. So it kind of, slowly kept going up, 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 up. Here was the peak, and now it's slowly going down, 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 down. So it's kind of like a curve like this, which is pretty standard. It's like an opposite of cup and handle, which is, in this case, a more bearish pattern, of course. So I wouldn't be surprised if we drop down to like 1063 to 1054, somewhere in that range, have a very small bounce of just dip buyers very quickly, and then I'll maybe go back up to like 1072, and then probably just fall. And I do believe that's going to start letting us gap fill all the way down to about almost $1,000. That's essentially what I'm currently seeing happening over the next, I would say, week. Now, April tends to be a pretty strong month for the market and Tesla as well. So based on that, it makes me still think that there's a chance that April will still be a good month overall. I think it'll just be a bad start, maybe like a bad first week, but then I have a decent feeling that maybe the rest of the week, the rest of April rather, could be pretty decent actually. So I think it's just a matter of getting a bad week out of the way, unless tomorrow just ends up being an absolute bloodbath and Tesla and the market just absolutely skyrockets downwards, I guess, into Earth's core, and we just fall like 6% tomorrow, which again is very possible. You never know sometimes, right, with these markets. I mean, it's very possible for Tesla to drop 6% if it can go up 6%. If anything, it's more possible to drop 6% than going up 6%, because, that's just usually how the market works. But we'll see what happens, of course. Either way, I do expect a gap fill coming up here probably next week. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. Some catalysts would have to come out, some insane ones to make this not happen anytime soon. But you never know. Also possible. That's the thing. You just really don't know. I mean, if you knew, you would be very rich because you could make a lot of money on options. Anyways, so taking a look at the daily very quickly here, you can see, so there's two averages, or moving averages, if you will, that I'm kind of paying attention to. The first of which is the one I talked about the other day, which is, of course, the 5 moving average. We have the 5 and the 8. So both of these are like the short-term moving averages that kind of dictate momentum, I guess, if you will, right? It's essentially just momentum. And you can see Tesla is ending the day pretty much right, just barely above it. Right now, the 5 moving average is at 1074. Tesla ended at 1077. So just barely above it. I would say once this 5-day moving average breaks and 1072 breaks, I think that should be confirmation that we're at the very least going to drop to 1050, potentially get a small little dead cat, very small relief bounce into an overall move down. So that is technically possible. And I think by the time that happens, this 8-day moving average might actually run up to this area as well. Probably like tomorrow, maybe, Monday, something like that. So that's very possible to kind of work like that. So again, wouldn't be surprised to see it drop down to 1050 roughly, bounce up to like 1070 roughly. Again, most likely a dead cat, and then ultimately fall back down to gap fill to around this 1010 area. That's what I'm personally looking for right at this very moment. You can see the RSI is starting to slant downwards as well, starting to point downwards. You can see the MACD, the green and the white lines are starting to slowly, get less farther apart. So they're slowly starting to curl into each other, setting our lower low. Now, the one decent thing is the volume was fairly low today, even on the selling pressure. To be fair, the selling pressure came in at the very last, if you go like this, you can see here the selling pressure at the very right here, you can see came in pretty much in the last, like, honestly 6 minutes or so, right? 5-6 minutes. So the volume overall for the day was really, really low. So it's like you can technically say that that's a good thing, but the fact that all the selling pressure, or the main selling pressure, came in the last 5 days is probably also a big reason why. So it's hard to say. I mean, overall, I would say it's a decent thing, the fact that, you know, the selling pressure in this red day was on fairly low volume. But I think most people are still just waiting, and they're not really getting ready to sell just yet. So maybe once it starts cracking certain things, then you're going to start seeing the selling pressure increase, because people are like, okay, well, it cracked, you know, things that I didn't want to see it crack. Like, again, you know, maybe the moving average, maybe the 1072 area. I think that's when people will start selling into the gap fill, realizing that that's probably going to happen, and then they're going to maybe re-enter. That's something that I wouldn't be surprised to see as well. So all in all, guys, that's what I'm currently seeing at the very moment. I'm definitely seeing, you know, obviously showing weakness now. It's breaking down a bit. And ultimately, potentially a bounce at 1050 into a dead cat to 1070 into a probable gap fill to the low thousands is what I'm currently seeing. We'll wait for that to happen. Once that happens, we will, of course, revisit the chart and kind of get a better idea and start looking to see what's going to happen after that. But up until that happens, guys, I am going to be not holding, but I'm going to be pretty much waiting. And until then, you know, we'll talk about the future after that. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you're thinking down below, and I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Peace.